this is Jennifer Martinez again. In this video, we're going to talk about how to do the homework. The homework is found in the Week 2 button. Week 2 is when you start working on math. And in Week 2, we're going to work on Chapter 1. It has on the very top. In red, it's very important to read, says that if you have 1 week's worth of absences, it was the rule at Pierce College, you can get dropped from this course. So you have to work on the week assignments every week to stay in this course. By the way, you can get ahead of the game. You can do it ahead of time, but you cannot do it past that week. Okay, so let's work on the homework. To do that, you simply click on the Watch Videos and Do Homework for Chapter 1 link. It will take you to a new screen, and it will list all the homework that is due for Chapter 1. The first half of homework is usually due on Wednesdays, and the second half is usually due on Fridays. And this homework is all due on the second week. The due dates will always be listed on the left, and by the way, those will be the same as the calendar. And if you look at the right, you'll notice there's no time limit for the homework. Number of attempts, you can do it as infinite times as you want. And when you do the homework, it will show right there of the score that you got on that homework, your grade point score. So let's click on, I'm going to start with 1.3. If I scroll down, the first thing I notice is on the left it says media. These are videos. The first one is a video from the textbook. The second two are videos, my videos of me lecturing to you on the material that you're going to see. These videos are timed. I do get scores on these videos, so you must watch these videos. These are your lectures before you attempt the homework. In fact, it has right in here that questions are not clickable or not available until you watch the required media. Notice how these questions are not blue and underlined. I cannot click on them, though I can click on the videos. So let's go ahead and watch the first one, and we'll watch the whole thing. It has 5 different objectives that you can watch separately. These are the section videos, which, by the way, can also be found in the multimedia library. I will pause it. When you're done with the video, what you do is hit submit, and then you can watch the next video. Again, I am timing these, so you do need to watch the whole thing. The second video is of me giving my screen lecture, so you can play that as well. But I'm going to go ahead and pause here and get all 3 videos submitted, so that way we can go on to the questions. Okay. All 3 videos are now watched. Notice how, and they have check marks on them, notice how the questions are now available. So you can go to question 1. Here's the first question, and here's where we actually see math. If you have trouble seeing the math, you probably didn't do the browser check correctly. So you can rerun the browser check, or you can go to that Need Help button and call tech support and ask them for some advice. This first question asks you to identify the base and the exponent. So in this, the answer, the base is 5, and the exponent is 6. The exponent is always the small number. This means 6 copies of 5 multiplied together. When you're done, you click on the button down here, Final Check, and we did well. We go to Done. Notice at the very top of the screen, a check mark appears. To get to the next question, you have to either press this right arrow button up above, or you can skip along and you can click on whatever question you want. You do not have to go to the other screen to go to the next question. If you notice, the second problem is the exact problem we put on the discussion board, except for different numbers. So I'm going to choose a different problem. Let's get to number 5. Notice on number 5, which is a bit harder, if you need help. So let's just talk about the help first. If you look at the right side of the screen, way over here on the right, you'll see Assign Media. That's if you want to watch the videos again. Help me solve this. View an example. They are exactly what, if you click on, for instance, View an example, it will give you an example of a very similar problem. You can keep on hitting Continue to get help on how to do that. Help me solve this helps you with this particular problem, but if you go too far, then you're going to end up having to do a similar problem with different numbers. Textbook allows you to go to the exact same pages of the textbook where it explains how to do this problem. Connect to a tutor is, I talked a little bit about that in the Need Help page. That is where you can connect to a Pearson tutor, not at Pierce College, the actual MyMathLab program. It's called through Pearson. They do charge. You get the first 30 minutes for free, and then after that you have to read about that in the Need Help button, how much it costs. A calculator, Ask My Instructor is kind of a nice one. That one's free. You can click on that, and I will get an email of this exact page. So if you type in an answer and you think it's right, or you think it's close, you don't understand what's wrong, I can advise you on what is a little off about your answer. Or maybe it's right and I'll give you credit. And then obviously you can print. What's great with the print button is you can actually work on it, get help, go to the tutoring center, come to my office hours, help from a friend or your own private tutor, whatever you need, and then come back and come type in that answer. The homework you are allowed to get help on as many times as needed. I do have a video on this particular problem, and the answer, believe it or not, how do you type in that answer? Let's talk about that. The answer is a to the 5th, because it's a negative exponents, and a negative exponents means 1 over that number, and 1 over, you take the reciprocal, would just be 8 to the 5th. So I'm not sure if it's going to allow it, but let's go ahead and say if you want to type in 8 to the 5th, what you would do is you would first type in an 8. So let me go ahead and type in an 8. And then you can click on this little toolbar on the left. It allows you to type in fractions, exponents. So there it is. And then you can type in a 5. Well, let's see if the computer allows that. Well done. Let's say you got this wrong. Let's go ahead and want to practice again. You can always click on similar problem. Notice how a new problem appears. Each time a student does a problem, you'll get, and each student has generates a new set of numbers. So let's go ahead and say that we typed in something wrong. Let's say the answer is 1, which I realize it isn't. But if you go to check answer, it gives you a little hint. Go to check answer again, it's still incorrect. Final check allows you 3 times, and finally it gets tired of you. And you can say save this attempt. Save the best score, because that would have been better. But I'm going to save this attempt. And they tell you the correct answer. So it's 2 squared, which happens to be 4. That makes sense. Notice how it's now an X mark. You can leave, you can come back. You can do it as infinite many times as you want, but you'll always notice there's a similar exercise button that you can choose. And you can try it again. So this one we're going to do correctly. 5 to the 5. Let's clear that because I need to type 5. Actually, I don't think I'll do it correctly. I'll just let it be an X mark so that way you can see what it looks like at the end. So let's just say we're done. And let's go to save. And yes, you're sure you want to leave this question. You get to that first page and notice that's an X mark. You can go to OK, scroll down to the right, and where is that OK button? There it is. And leave this. When you come back to this at any time, these will be saved. You can go back to that question or back to any other question, and then now let's do it correctly. So here it is. Finally, we'll finish this up. So the answer was 5, and then we're going to hit that exponent button, oh, where am I at? Exponent. And then we're going to type in another 5. Go to check answer, and finally it will be a check mark. I'm going to hit save because I'm done, and I've finished 2 problems. Scroll to the right, click on OK when we're done. If you notice, if I scroll to the right, that gradebook score now says C score, and that is the score that I received so far. When I finish, that's just because I haven't done all those other problems. Once I finish, it should be a better score. That is how you do the homework. Before I finish, I might as well click on OK here. Oh, there's no OK. Never mind. So I'll just click on back to week 2. And so I can finish my next thing. The next video is going to be on taking a quiz. See you soon.